Hey, welcome to the Jay Tyner Show. It's good to have everybody listening today. Listen, I've got Matt here with me. He's kind of dressed casual, so you can go casual if you need to. I've got the suit on, if you want that more formal approach. But today we're going to be talking about some of the features and benefits that come along with the Semmax Financial Group of companies. Now, just as a side note, I have to say this for disclosures, check our About page, but if you do get some advice out of this, make sure you run it by your advisor, your tax planner. So let's jump right in. Some of the benefits that come along with the Semmax Financial Group of companies. So we have Semmax Tax, we have Semmax Incorporated, we have Semmax Financial Advisors. So let's jump right into these. There's three that you can probably give us.
Yeah, so right off the bat is tax planning. And so right there, we implement tax planning strategies to help our clients have not pay more in taxes than they need to, essentially. Now that's very interesting because there's a lot, everything from unwinding your IRA to a surviving spouse. Kind of what can we do to make sure we're not paying more to the IRS than we have to?
So more strategic solutions or strategies, kind of we call it the micro version of planning for taxes versus the macro version of planning for taxes.
Yeah,
So,
and there's two sides of that, because it could be you pay a little bit more this year to save a lot
for
over
many
the next
years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
So the next thing is income planning. And that really dials into where are those paychecks going to come from in retirement. It's one thing to say I've got all these assets accumulated, but where am I actually going to get those dollars from? Where I need a certain amount to live off of, how am I going to come up with that? Where is that going to come from? What is that going to look like? How is that going to change?
So from paychecks to playchecks.
Absolutely.
And I know we don't always play in retirement, but that's kind of, somebody coined that phrase. I don't know who did that, but that is very important to know when you retire, that you have a comfortable strategic plan that's showing where your money's going to come from for the next 30 years. So income planning is important.
So there's the income planning, and then there's also the investment planning. So there's the paycheck side of things, but that doesn't mean we're done investing. We still want to have our money growing. We still have certain things we want to do with it. And so making sure that we're implementing a number of different investment strategies and planning appropriately, taking the appropriate amount of risk, et cetera. There's a lot that goes into that as well.
Okay, well, let's jump to the next services and or benefits provided by the Semmax companies. That's legacy planning. I would say here, think more along the lines, maybe not the legal side, but more the strategic planning of how you coordinate everything financially with your legal. So that would be legacy planning. Wealth transfer is another way, another term that's used in the industry. So transferring wealth. If you pass away, how does your money move out of your estate down to the next level? Then healthcare planning. That's a really important thing because right now healthcare is inflating at about 8% a year, but our income's not going up necessarily by 8%, especially if we're retired and we're on a fixed income. So how do you manage that? Well, there's a lot of solutions. So we help with that area of healthcare planning, whether it's long-term care, whether it's Medicare supplements, whether it's just if you're early retiring and you can't, you're not 65 yet, but you've retired and you need health care. There's actually solutions to get health care that's reasonable, that you can get to cover you between, say, age 62 and 63. And then the third area would be savings on your legal needs. So this would be more along the lines of the actual documentation and preparation of those documents with an attorney. So if you need to have a will done or a trust, power of attorney for healthcare, power of attorney for financial management, advanced healthcare directive, all the documents that would go into having that set of documents to take care of those issues. But again, coordinating that, the first thing I was talking about is, well, how do you coordinate your legal with your financial? So for example, this is just a quick example. If I have a financial asset, does my trust own that financial asset, or is that trust the beneficiary of that? So very different on how you coordinate those and have different reasons and consequences too.
Right.
Yeah.
So the legal needs is getting the trust. The financial side is making sure things are in the trust or that it's doing something for you.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. We have a kind of a similar thing with the Semmax tax service. So just like how we talked earlier about how we do tax planning, our Semmax tax service is actually the preparation of taxes. And so we get a lot of folks that will say, hey, I've been working with the same guy for 15 years. He just retired on me. or he just quit, or something
And I got
happened.
to get my taxes done.
I still got to get my taxes done. Do you know somebody? So that's why we offer tax services, because we can fill that need if necessary. And I always prefer going to a referral personally. I always like that firsthand referral. But next thing is really selection and variance. So what does that mean? Really, that means we have a whole host of investment strategies and options available. And as a fiduciary, we're going to look at that giant bag that we've got and say, what's appropriate for you? What matches things? What's best for you? And so we're not just having a one size fits all. You need a mutual fund. Well, next guy, you need a mutual fund. It's what's out there. Do you have options with everything from annuities, investments, bonds, hedge funds, REITs, alternatives? There's a lot that goes into that could be appropriate depending on the situation. The next thing is really face-to-face advice. There is no substitute for meeting face-to-face, or whether that's via Zoom even. There's something about knowing the person that you're working with, that ongoing relationship, that
somebody that's
face-to-face
local
interaction.
in the community.
Absolutely.
And we're not saying anything's wrong with the guy that's out in California that's been taking care of you, but honestly, it's good to know that you can pick up the phone, set an appointment, and come in and meet with somebody face-to-face that's helping you with your 1 million or your 2 million or your 10 million that you have. It's, or 200,000, whatever it might be. And again, I want to say that Semmax Financial Advisors is here as a firm to help you, whether you have 50,000 saved for retirement or whether you have 15 million saved for retirement. We've developed the company 25 years ago to help our community, to help our people. So did we get all those, or do I need to jump to my communication?
No, we got those.
Yeah, so communication is important. I think under this area is one thing I'll say. We like to give you the opportunity to have the ability to communicate with us. So if you come in for a 6-month review, before you leave, you're going to be setting up an appointment for your next 6-month review. Now, if something happens in the middle of that, say 30 days go by and maybe you get an inheritance, maybe a family member's sick or something happens, you can pick up the phone and call and set up another appointment with your advisor. So communication is really important. Next is adaptive strategies. We do like to use this area of financial technology. So we have a lot of good financial technology services that we purchase and we pay for to help facilitate you and the management of your money and the communicating with us. So we keep that adaptive strategy open. And then we also have a newsletter. All right. And we talk about some crazy things in that newsletter. If you're not getting it, make sure you are. But we've had fighter pilots on there.
Say, I like that client spotlight.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of clients with very interesting stories.
Oh, my goodness, some good stories. In fact, if you have an interesting story and you haven't been in our newsletter, please give our ladies a call here and say, hey, I want to get in your next newsletter to be the spotlight. We'd love to do that. And then finally, I think, and not necessarily that this is the least important, maybe the most important, but we're very strongly in tune with the community as far as charitable donations. We're always, I don't know how many years we've been somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $15,000 of contributions back to the local community here in Winston and Greensboro and the High Point and the different areas that we have where we give, and then we give you an opportunity to match. So if you give, we'll match that gift. But that's important. As you guys may or may not know, I was a missionary kid, and my parents were missionaries in Africa and Europe. They were in Ethiopia for many years and then South Africa and served. And I grew up there and lived there. And so that's part of me, part of my heart, like to give back. And Semmax is all about being able to do that and assist in our local community. So again, just some services that Semmax Financial Group of companies offers. And thank you, Matt, for joining us on this show. If you have any questions about these or if you need some help, just give us a holler at 800-399-8506 and we'll get right back to you. Thank you.